Welcome to the Good Companions. I'm Monique Doolittle-Romas, and I'm the Executive Director at the Good Companions Senior Centre.
And I'm Cameron Ketchum, Director of Community Initiatives at United Way East Ontario.
Come on in, let's do a tour and meet those that we serve. Welcome to the dining room, or the heart of the Good Companions. We always celebrate all kinds of activities and festivities. There is Pride, there is Harvest Lunch, there's the holidays, there's Halloween, there's birthday parties, always held in our dining room. Throughout the pandemic, we identified high food insecurity for seniors that were living in the community. We used to be able to bring seniors grocery shopping. And as soon as the pandemic hit, seniors were asked to stay home. So how did we support them? Well, we started bringing groceries to them. Thanks to funding from the United Way and the Government of Canada and others, we were able to actually provide food hampers that would see a senior through for 2 weeks. We then asked our drivers, who never stopped providing service through the pandemic, to actually go door through door with seniors. It allows us to provide that well-being check to make sure that someone is safe, not alone, and do they require additional services. The Good Companions' mission is to ensure that older adults have an active life. We also focus on reducing isolation. It's hard. These past 2.5 years through the pandemic have been very difficult for seniors. Often someone will come to us after they've lost their spouse, their partner, and they're really detached. That's often when they come in and they'll start volunteering with us. They can participate in activities, they can take fitness classes, language classes, craft classes. They want to be part of a vibrant community, and the Good Companions is their community.
So this is our adult day programs space, and so we have a program every day for frail seniors and those with dementia, early stages of dementia, as well as people with physical disabilities. So they're here for 5 hours a day to give a great time of respite for their caregivers.
Seems like the funnest place to be in Ottawa.
It is. It's something different every day. We do exercise, we do live entertainment, we have board games, bingo, all the usual things, but it's something different than them sitting at home without any stimulation.
So United Way and Good Companions share a goal of addressing our community's greatest needs and having the greatest impact we can. For seniors in the community, this means those facing isolation have the support and the resources they need. What we also share is an emphasis on equity. Good Companions has been a leader in providing LGBTQ+ services, multilingual services, digital equity, so seniors can access services from their home. And so all of these things, I think, what the Good Companions is doing really illustrates how our community is coming together to support seniors and their caregivers collectively.
Welcome to the second floor of the Good Companions. This is where we have all of our artists, our crafters. Okay. These are beautiful handmade quilts by seniors who come in and volunteer and are members of the Good Companions.
Well, this is beautiful, and they're for sale as well, right?
They are for sale, and all the proceeds support the Good Companions. There's quilting, there's crochet, there's needlepoint, stained glass, painting, and of course, our famous teddy bears, handmade by our wonderful members here at the center. We also have a salon. We have foot care, we'll have a lawyer that comes in, you can get your manicure, your pedicure, there's a little bit of something for everybody.
So professional services and just nice services.
Nice services. Yeah. The Good Companions provide services at the center, but we also provide community support services. So our team is able to support seniors in the community. We offer Seniors Center Without Walls, which is our outreach program, where we bring programs to seniors over the phone. And here is Ann Kendall.
Hello, Ann.
Ann is the manager of our community support services, and she and her team never stopped working through the pandemic. It was unbelievable. We went from having 1 vehicle and 1 driver to having 3 vehicles and 3 drivers, making sure that seniors could still get to their medical appointments. We could deliver meals, telephone check-ins. And how many phone calls did we make per month? Thousands. Over 2,500 phone calls per month to check in. And we could not have done what we did through the pandemic without the United Way. Additional funding, support, bringing partners together, and most importantly, recognizing the need and advocating for us so we could focus on delivery. The Good Companions serves many low-income seniors, and there is such a need for services and programs, and budgets are tight right now. We all can see the impact of inflation, and it's not always possible to make ends meet. But we want seniors to be able to come in and participate in programs, so we're providing subsidies. We're still receiving phone calls for food hampers. Was it our original line of business? No, but we have to support them. We have to check in. They need to have food, and we need to provide that support. And the United Way has been there for us. The recovery will take a long time. Seniors were deeply impacted by the pandemic.
One thing I might add too, what we saw immediately as the pandemic struck was the collaboration and creativity and innovation in the senior serving sector overall was really amazing. With some extra resources in play, this sector was able to respond so quickly, so effectively to the needs that were growing rapidly in the senior serving sector. That was so important. What that created was new ways of working. And for United Way, that's a really critical part of changing and strengthening the systems of support that exist for seniors and for their caregivers in our community. So I think that's another piece that's really important. You see every day the basic needs and the real vulnerabilities of seniors and respond to them. And I think it's also important that we take those best practices and turn them into a bigger, stronger system of support that's community-wide.
Well, and you enabled all of us to come together. You brought us together. And I remember mentioning to all of you that we had Senior Center Without Walls. And should the pandemic be declared, it was February 2020, I remember the meeting distinctly, we would train agencies across the region. The pandemic hit, and then you called and said, can you do it? We said, yes, we can. And then I thought, I don't know how, but we're going to find a way. And you called within a week to say, we're going to give you additional funding so you can have the staff, you can cover the cost. We're going to do this together. We came together as a community to respond, and that's our strength, and that can never go away.
So your donation to United Way helps us work more effectively with partners like the Good Companions and others in the senior serving sector to make sure seniors and their caregivers who are isolated, who are vulnerable, who are facing real basic needs challenges, mental health challenges, have resources, have places to go, have services to support their needs every day. It's creating community, and it depends on community to make sure that those resources are strong and effective, and that the collaborations that we prioritize through our strategies and through our work with partners like the Good Companions are effective and are present for the foreseeable future.
To the donors, I hope you know your donations go a long way. We would not have made it through the last 2.5 years without you. We all continue to recover, not just the Good Companions. So thank you for considering a donation, and thank you for being there for all of us.
The past few years has seen our community come together like never before, and it's thanks to donors like you that we've been able to do the things that we have been able to do and are continuing to do. So thank you, and we look forward to your support.